Hello everyone and welcome back to Crypto Empire, where we dominate the crypto market. My name is Connor and it's time for another Crypto Empire live stream. Let's get this one started and get right into the charts because we have a pullback at the moment in altcoins. And with this pullback, we hit some important levels that we have had outlined, right? Some hidden order blocks or breaker blocks. Many of them did get hit on altcoins, fresh demand zones. And now we're looking at the Bitcoin chart to start it off. By the way, this is how the top 100 looks at the moment, right? Altcoins, big pullback today. And we'll get into it right now. So looking at Bitcoin here on the lower time frames, this is holding bullish market structure. Bitcoin is holding bullish market structure. And you can see that we are forming this symmetrical triangle on the lower time frame. All right, we're forming this nice triangle. And we are at the climax of the triangle. We're at the end of it over here. It's getting very, very tight. And we already have some clues on which direction this wants to go from here. Last night, what had happened was price sold off and it came to the bottom of the triangle and also the bottom of our range we've had here on the chart. You can see the nice reaction that Bitcoin has had from those two levels. Really, it's the same level though right here at $116,500, right? We have the range low and the triangle support line. A very nice bounce. Break out of the range high. Liquidate all the people that FOMO breakout traded up here. Nice liquidation candle here on the 1 hour time frame. Immediately gets bought back up, and here we are now back at the range highs. All right, so this is just sideways and range bound. But over here, what just occurred does give us an idea that Bitcoin does want to push higher here. Right, we had a sell-off to our range low and a nice bounce up. Buyers stepped in time, liquidated the late longs, and we're back up. So what am I looking for here? I'm looking for a move to the highs. Right, I would like to see Bitcoin make a move to the highs from here, around 121 to 123K. Okay, so are we going to break out? And is Bitcoin going to continue to pump? That's possible. It's also possible that this just continues to stay in a range. Right, this just continues to stay in a range while altcoins continue to run. That's also possible. So all in all, Bitcoin is showing strength still. It's not showing weakness, I should say. Right, it's not necessarily showing a crazy strength here, but it's not showing weakness, which is a clue. So anyways, that's our Bitcoin update for the day right now on the lower time frames. This is what the daily candle, the daily chart looks like at the moment. And you can see that this range is working, right? It's just a very choppy sideways price action range here on Bitcoin. And again, with this triangle breakout, we like to see a move to the highs. Whether we break it or not, who knows, right? Maybe we just stay range bound and altcoins continue to run. Maybe we break out. Time will tell, but all in all, we're not seeing really much weakness at all on Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and move on now to stablecoin dominance. Now, stablecoin dominance is forming a bit of an interesting picture here on the daily time frame, where let's go to the 2-day chart. So looking at the 2-day chart, we can see that we are in the 2-day demand zone and we continue to bounce off this level. Now, this is an important level for sure, and then 3.8% is also a very important level down here. Now, what can happen? Not really much bull div forming here either at the moment on the daily time frame. But the main thing that I'm looking for right now that would allow altcoins to continue to pump basically this week would be a repeat of what happened last week. All right, this is last week's price action. I just put in a circle here. Do you notice anything? It's very, very choppy. There's long wicks down and up, day after day, long wicks down and up, down and up, down and up. This is classified to me as a slow grind. All right, last week Tether Dominance did a slow grind lower. The main thing that pumped altcoins was this. It was Bitcoin dominance dropping. All right, you can see now as well on the weekly. It has come into a weekly demand zone, so we're seeing a bit of a reaction from Bitcoin dominance. But what pumped altcoins last week was Bitcoin dominance dropping. It wasn't really USDT dominance dropping. Okay, it did close red on the weekly, but really all of the money went into altcoins from Bitcoin. So anyways, we want to see USDT dominance continue to drop, because when this goes up, Bitcoin's going to go down, and if Bitcoin goes down, altcoins are going to go down. So the ideal scenario right now in USDT dominance is another slow grind lower here to the bottom of our 2-day demand zone at 3.8% or 3.98%, 4% for simplicity's sake, USDT dominance. If we do get a reaction here and this wants to pump back up here to around 4.4, 4.5%, that's going to be a lot of pain in the market, right? A lot of leverage is going to get flushed out. There's going to be some really big retracements on coins. So the ideal scenario is this just grinds lower this week down here to 4%. We'll have to keep a close eye on this right now. All right, as of right now, this 2-day demand zone is still being respected. So we have to monitor this situation very closely. Here's Bitcoin dominance. We just looked at it briefly, but Bitcoin dominance at the moment you can see is hitting that weekly demand zone down here at 60%, 60.4%, and a bit of a positive reaction so far. So that is why Bitcoin is not showing any weakness, right? Go look at Bitcoin here. It's not really showing any weakness at all, especially on the daily candle now, right? Nice and green and big and up. But anyways, altcoins are showing all the weakness because Bitcoin dominance is going up, right? So that we can see ETH here. A lot of these coins right now are trying to save their daily candles in terms of this local trend line that formed recently over the past week. Right, you can see ETH here broke through its trend line, but it's trying to save the daily candle now and try and close back above. We will see if it can manage to do that. All right, we'll see if Ethereum can manage to close back above this daily time frame trend line. As of right now, it is showing a weakening of the bullish trend in the sense that it's losing this trend line. Now, I would say if ETH loses the local lows, what are the local lows? These. Let me get rid of my magnet. But these lows over here at $3,615 on ETH. Okay, if ETH loses these lows, it might get a little ugly. All right, we do not want to see ETH lose the lows it put in today. And again, the price number for that is $3,615. So the ideal thing right now for ETH is simply to reclaim our resistance at 3,750 and keep pushing up and hit 4,000. All right. We do not want to lose the local lows that formed earlier on the pullback, and that's at 3,615. If that is going to happen, well, we could see this thing slide quite a bit. But the thing is, I'm still leaning towards the bullish side, right? Because let's go to the weekly chart here. If you go to the weekly chart, we have had 4 very green weeks in a row. And now this week that just formed is now red. Also on the monthly. So if this monthly candle, the ideal situation for the monthly candle right now on ETH would be a closure above the previous highs on the monthly. It's July 22nd right now. So there's 8-9 days left in the month of July. We have this week and a few days of next week, and then we'll have the monthly candle close. So the ideal thing to see, right, if we're really in a crazy altcoin season right now, the ideal thing would be for ETH to close the monthly candle above the highs of this entire bull market. And that's at $4,100, $4,100. So there's not much time left in the month, is what I'm trying to say right now. Being that there's not that much time left in the month, this is going to tell us pretty soon. So keep a close eye on it. If we do end up losing these local lows, yeah, we can see this thing slide off, probably go back to around 3,500, 3,440 over here where we have a line already. But in general, we have to keep a close watchful eye on Ethereum. It is so close to that $4,000 target level. It's a stone's throw away, right? A stone's throw away from this 4K level. Are we going to stall just before it and get what happened every other time where we just have a crazy harsh sell-off where price makes a lower low? Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully this is actually the time where it breaks above 4,000. If there's any time to do it, it's now. It is, but the market's going to move how the market wants to move. I think it's time for it. What do you guys think? Is it time for Ethereum to break 4,000? I'm not talking right this second. I'm talking like over the next week or two. Is it time for it to finally break 4,000? Let me know right now in the live chat what you guys think about that. I think it's time personally. Now that's ETH, that's Bitcoin, that's Tether dominance, that's Bitcoin dominance. Let's look at others dominance real quick. And really nothing happening too much on others dominance. We just want to see this continue to trend higher. Okay, this is the shitcoin index, right? The others outside of the top 10 market cap. We want this to just continue to trend. All right, it closed the weekly above a previous swing high, which is very cool to see. Now we would like to see this thing just continue to push up and trend higher, pumping all the shitcoins with it. I mean, same thing really with total 2 here, right? Very, very close to the all-time high. As we have written, we're targeting $2.5 trillion on the total 2. If we end up closing above our red supply zone, we are a stone's throw away from it right now. So are we going to get a pullback right here and then go, or are we going to clear it first and then maybe get a pullback? I mean, we're right there. It's so close. I am leaning more on the bullish side as of right now. And also, again, total 3, we want to see this continue to trend. We want to see this break out and make a new all-time high. Same thing with others, right? Others, let's look on the weekly. And you can see on the weekly right now on others, a great thing just happened. A great thing just happened on the others chart. Currently, this is $304 billion in market cap. But we just closed above the previous swing high on the others chart, telling us that this is now, like, this is huge. This is the W double bottom, right? It closed above on the weekly. Most altcoins at the moment, they all have a similar W double bottom on their weekly charts, but they're just here. They're just underneath the neckline. Okay, others already broke it. I think that's a forewarning. That's a foreshadowing of what's going to come for some alts here, for most alts, for altcoins. But let me just illustrate that point. What's something we can look at that has the W double bottom? Atom has it, right? Similar structure here where we have our neckline high. That's at $5.48. Right, we had that huge sell-off. We have this basing accumulation. And now, like I just said, others just broke this. Most of these coins are just below it. All right, so we're just simply looking for the break of the W neckline and a huge parabolic altcoin season pump of hundreds of %. Is that too much to ask for? I'm being sarcastic. But if there's a time that's going to happen, it's actually right now. But now, anyways, Adam, if you guys are in the Telegram, you know we're trading this right now. And long story short, started a position yesterday. Pretty inopportune timing, but hey, nonetheless, we had planned to also add at the 6-hour breaker. And you can see right now the 6-hour breaker block is just here on Atom from $4.94 to $4.86. And price did come into that level, and we're having a positive reaction so far. It's really too early to say right now. I mean, I know what's going on in terms of most people's heads, right? Most people are really, really worried that this is going to continue down, and that's certainly a possibility, okay? If it does continue down, we have a 7-day breaker, as you can see. And this is really the main level. Right? This is the main level for Atom down here in the 7-day breaker. This is also most people's invalidation, right? So most people would probably close their longs if Atom came into this. This is a really good buy level if it comes into it. 460 down to 440, all right? Where most people have their stop. That's always a great place to be a buyer, and it's in here. So watch for that. If we do end up selling off more, I would not get scared. I would look to be a buyer on a huge sell-off. But in general, you know, we'll see how the daily closes here. We'll see if the daily gets saved or not. We will see. We will see. Now, in terms of some success we got going on, so there's this coin SPK Spark. And they just did an airdrop not too long ago, and they listed it on All exchanges. Well, shout out to Neo. All right, Neo called this one beautifully. And you can see here, I mean, it put in a 100% move. It put in a 100% move here on SPK from the time of entry. All right, as you can see, it's up 128%. It was up 141, 142% at the highs. Okay, so some of these new coins, they are going wild. They're going bananas. They don't care about the rest of the market. SPK is really like the only outlier I have in my watch list besides Pangu. But anyways, yeah, we traded SPK very successfully, guys, inside of the Crypto Empire Mastermind. 140% move on a trade. You absolutely love to see it. All right, so anyways, that is what's going on with SPK. It goes without saying, if you want to be a buyer of the coin now, go get your head checked, okay? You want to be a buyer low, not now. Let's see what's going on here in our live chat. Shout out to Glaucus, SR5. Shout out to Matthew Black, G Money. We got Dan Griffiths. He says, "What's up, Connor? What's up, Dan? How are you, man? How are you doing?" I woke up today not really feeling 100%, but I still had to come on here for the live stream. You guys know that, right? We're not gonna miss it, even if I don't feel great. But hey, we're here. We're here nonetheless. We got Grotto EZ. He says, "We're out here, Connor." What do you think Ethereum will do? I was eyeing Tau returns on ETH. The chart is holding well. Any thoughts, Tau ETH? Yeah, I brought that one up here in the past on streams. But before we look at Tau ETH, let's just look at Tau itself. Let's just look at Tau itself. So, looking at Tau itself right now. This is the daily candle. So this daily candle is a bit wacky, right? It's a bit of a Dogee indecision daily candle, Darth Maul type of thing with huge wicks in both directions. Now, basically, what happened here on Tau? Let's go to the lower time frames. But what happened here on Tau was we had a swing failure pattern, right? You can see on the 4-hour. We SFP'd the highs. It spiked up to $461. And you can see it sold off then to the low 400s. So from 460 down to 414. All in the matter of a few hours earlier today. Now we have it showing some strength. So this is the deal with alts right now, guys. Let me make this pretty clear. And as of right now, the level to hold for Tau is discounting the wicks. Where do all these bodies close? Right in the 420s, like 422, around there. So let's make this quite clear. We are in a parabolic trend, all right? This parabolic trend here started on Tau July 8th. Big breakout, some chopping around here. If this parabolic trend is going to continue right now, it's going to continue very soon. It's not going to spend that much time chopping around anymore. It's already spent the last week chopping and slopping around. So let's make this clear on Tau in the lower time frames. As long as price is holding above $420 approximately, you can see that's where, like, the buyers didn't accept anything below this price basically. Sellers tried to push it down, buyers pushed it right back up above 420. So if we're going to hold that level locally, we're pushing to new highs. Okay, this is going to continue to rip up higher. I'm treating this market as if it is already in a violent, crazy altcoin season. And if we're in a violent, crazy altcoin season right now, well, we're not going to see the crazy dips, right? So anyways, Tau, your level to hold is 420. As long as you're above that, I do see, like, this could have been it is what I'm trying to say. This could have been like the pullback. Still 10%. But you SFP'd, and then really what ended up happening was you came and you tested fresh demand here. All right, this is a fresh demand zone technically on the 1 hour time frame on Tau, right? We have a drop base rally. This is fresh demand. It's not fresh anymore because it just got used today, but it was fresh before the wick came into it, right? So you test fresh demand, you hold the level. If we're in a parabolic uptrend, it's going to go. It's going to go. So let's see who's going to win here. The Bulls or the Bears? Are we actually in an altcoin season, or is it all just a facade and is going to lead to another one of these moves? I don't think that's going to happen this time. All right, the whales got to give retailer little breadcrumbs of success here, right? They can't just dump everything to oblivion forever. Now is the time to give the breadcrumbs. Scatter them out, right? So we want to see the breakout. We want to see this clear $500. And in order to do that, it has to hold above 420. Anyways, let's look at Tau ETH. And here's Tau ETH. So chart isn't really looking too bad in the sense of it's holding support here. Right, it's holding support on Tau ETH. This is the weekly. So the idea is because Ethereum is really outperforming everything at the moment, that's why the ratio of Tau to ETH is going down. When Tau starts to outperform ETH, this will start to go up. So you're at support now. I just looked at Tau and I told you I think it's ready to start going. So if that is actually the case and Tau starts to go, we're going to see this ratio start to pick up and increase. But I think I have the MEXC. I have this marked on one exchange. I think it might be MEXC. Yeah, there it is. Cool. You can see you have some more data here because Tau got listed on MEXC pretty early on. So anyways, this gives us a little bit of some more info. And last week, Ethereum pumped really hard and Tau went sideways all week. So this broke trend. Right, it just broke the trend line. Anyways, it's still at a horizontal level. We'll see, right? Whenever Tau starts to move and break out, this is going to increase. You've seen this one go really high in the past, right? 0.27, over a quarter of an ETH per Tau. I think it's going to go back up there. And the price of ETH is going to be hopefully 5,000-6,000. So a quarter of one ETH for one Tau coin means... yeah, you do the math. It means a lot of money per Tau coin. Shout out to Random19. Shout out to Guts Motors as well as Angel. Guys, smash up the like button. Shout out to Shane Stridham. He says, oi, oi, Connor, an Empire fan. What's going on, Shane? We got Matt 1. We got the Albert. What do I think of Nobody's Sausage? Meme coin on Solana that I'm really not... I'm indifferent about. I'm completely indifferent about Nobody's Sausage. That's the best word to describe what I think of it. Indifference. Don't care, basically. Rigoberto says, good morning, everyone. What's going on, Rigoberto? We got Give Me the Chalupa. What's up, brother? Fiat Hater. He says, morning, mate. Pangu on base thoughts. And also, shout out to Georgios. Shout out to Georgios. He says, smash the like, lads. My man, smash that like, lads. You heard Georgios. Smash the like. He says, Connor is the man. Opinion on Sui. How far do you think it can go? It pumps very aggressive. I know you hate those predictions questions. You're right, man. I do. I mean, we can throw arbitrary numbers all day long. Oh, yeah. You know, ETH is going to 10K. Bitcoin's going to 1 million. Sui's going to 20. I mean, they're all arbitrary numbers at the end of the day. I'm going to look at Sui in a moment and Pangu on base as well. But we got a super chat right now from Apex. A $9.99 super chat from Apex. What is up, brother? Thank you for the super chat. He says, Connor, can we get a good 1-minute FUD session on Sonic? I dedicated my humble portfolio to their eco and airdrop. It dropped today and I wasn't even eligible. Send it to 0. Love you, by the way. So I just got paid $10 to FUD the Sonic coin. Is this Sonic the previous Phantom or is it the other one? Sonic SVM. I'm not sure which Sonic it is. But I do know that you guys have been asking me about Sonic a bunch. And I always say I don't care about it. And that's why, right? Anyways, let's FUD Sonic for a minute. This coin sucks. Sonic the previous Phantom. Okay, cool. So we have some information to go off. Sonic sucks. Fuck this coin. Happy? I'm trolling, man. Not really, though. I'm kind of serious. Chart looks like dog shit. I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole. I've been indifferent about this coin forever. So my indifference is going to continue, and I'm happy I've been indifferent about it. If you don't know what indifference is, all right, it's basically where you don't care whatsoever. You're ice cold about it. That's how I feel about Sonic. I could care less. Dan says Sonic does suck. I sold all that crap. There you go. We got the whole live stream joining in on the FUD, the 1 minute FUD campaign for Sonic. Glaucus, keeping your eye on Swarms. You already know, man. Swarms pumped up today. Real quick. I mean, the charts, this is the weekly. Like, the chart is setting up for a pump. I think that everyone can agree with this. New coin. Weekly chart is in this bottom accumulation basing type of pattern. You technically broke the trend line. You're just going sideways now. But yeah, this is the daily time frame. Daily time frame is just in this range. So, I mean, I am keeping my eye on it. Yeah, I think it will eventually break out higher. Just a matter of when, right? Timing it. So it will go up pretty hard in my opinion, though. Anyways, real quick, fiat hater, Pangu on base. Normally, I mean, I don't really want to look at this. This one, Pangu, based Pangu, 310 market cap. No opinion, man. This is a gamble. It might pump because Pangu's pumping, but it's a gamble meme coin, and I'm definitely not endorsing anyone to buy or sell that coin. And real quick, let's look at Sui. So in terms of how high Sui can go, I'm not going to overcomplicate it. I'm just going to pull a fib and get her negative extensions. $630, $760, $9. Best case scenario, 10. I think that's pretty appropriate. And I mean, there are some smart people I know that have said Sui to 10. Like people that I respect what they say about the market. They've called for Sui to 10. So I think it's possible, but I would still use these other extensions at $6, $760. I would look to sell there as well. Big shout out to Rigoberto. He says, if it's morning time in your area, smash the like button. If it's not, still smash the like button. That's the type of energy we need right now. Shout out to Rigoberto. Shout out to Ahad Musarat as well. Kaido King. And a super chat right now from Matthew Black with a $4.99 super chat. He says, quickie chart look, reflect on base. All right, we can do a little quickie chart look, I suppose. All right, super chat's rolling in right now, guys. Another one from NRISM 100. He likes the number 7. Let me get this contract address. Shout out to Matthew Black with the super chat. Reflect on base. Let's take a quick look at the chart for our guy Matthew Black. So on the daily right now, it looks like you are falling. Maybe going to lose this level of support down here. All right, maybe you lose this level of support. Just there. Looks like this one's been out for a while, Matt. All right, so the weekly, I love looking at the higher time frame, especially with this type of stuff. It gives you the information that you need. So the weekly, in my very own humble opinion, is a bull flag. Okay, the weekly is a bull flag. And also notice you're retesting, really, I would say the accumulation lake high is here. Okay, so as long as this coin stays above 11 and a half cents, yeah, 11.4, 11 and a half cents here, as long as this coin is above 11 and a half cents, it's fine. You do not want to see it come back into the accumulation periods. where it spent a lot of time accumulating, right? Cool. It can wick into there. That's fine. That's cool. But you do not want to see it accept below 11 cents. Anyways, that's Reflect. Thank you for the super chat, Matthew. And another super chat right now from Nrism 100 with a $7.77 super chat. He says, "Hi Connor, thank you for the best analysis on YouTube by far." You're welcome, sir. Appreciate the support. He says, "I hold a large bag of AWR. All will retire." That's quite the name of a coin. That's quite the name of a coin. He says, "Can you give a thorough analysis and your input?" Well, for $7.75 in a super chat on a live stream, of course I can do that for you when you show me that type of support. Even though $7.75 is chump change, and I mean, my time is worth more than that, but still, I will look at this and tell you what I think of it. So immediately, I told you about the name. The name it's a retarded name. It's really like stupid. This coin is a total gamble. Now the market cap is 4.6 million currently. It's also been around from December of 2024. So it did experience a period of bullishness, and you can see that it did perform decently well, where it went from like a 600K market cap, right? 650K up here to 14 million. It did well over here in December. In 1 week, it did that. So if you're holding a coin like this, you're praying it goes on a parabolic rally. It just put in a gigantic rally. I don't know who's behind this coin. I don't know who holds it, what communities, all of that information that you probably should know. I don't know anything about it. All right, but we're going to use this parallel channel, and we're going to say that this coming back into the channel is, yeah, you just want to see the breakout hold and stick, and you don't want to see it come back below this price really here, 4.6 million market cap. So hopefully you bounce soon, or you come into these hidden order blocks. You come into these hidden order blocks at around 3 million market cap and bounce from there, but that's 3.5 million, sorry. Fresh, look on the 1 day, you have fresh HOBs. If you want to buy it there. I don't know what this coin will do. No idea. Dan says he's been holding swarms for months, bought 30,000 of them below 2 cents. That shit is going to rip when micros get their day. Yeah, when the micros get their day, that's a good point. When the micros do get their day, the micros will get their day like we've talked about. When others' dominance really gets back above like 11%, right? When others' dominance gets above 11% around over here, that's when the shit coins just go wild. So yeah, we want to see others' dominance above 11% for all the micros to really pump. And right now it's at 7.85%, so a lot of room to get up there, really. Shout out to All Day Dre. What's up, Dre? And another super chat from Burning Babylon. B3 on base have a good chance to pump, or does it stink like raw sewage? Hit the like button or all your coins will turn into digital. Well, listen, man. Thanks for the super chat. Let's look at B3. 77 million market cap. Will the coin pump? I'm not sure. I do know that this got farmed to oblivion. Just yeah, still. I mean, look at this. Somebody bought $6.02, and they sold for 15,000. Somebody bought $250 and sold for 14. I mean, these could have been legitimate winners, right? Legitimate lottery winners. But I don't know. It looks like the tokenomics of this coin has suspicious functions. 50 out of 100 token sniffer. And I could have already guessed that looking at the top trader list. And I mean, yeah. It's pretty nuts. Somebody selling 15K after buying $6 in the past 30 days, that is too. So my opinion on this coin is I wouldn't buy it, but you can do whatever you want because you have free will, but I wouldn't buy it. Glaucus, no, I wouldn't borrow against your Bitcoin. I'm not going to recommend you to borrow against your Bitcoin to go buy microcap coins. That's not my job to do that. That is a question that only you can answer, my friend. And shout out to Angel with a super chat. Asked to look at Dogee. And this thing just continued to pump. It looks like we were looking at this, last week at 20 million. It's at 67. I mean, hey, GG, good game. This is a pumper. A pump fun coin as well. So maybe this one will revive the trenches. Maybe not. Who knows? But hey, if you guys had the balls to gamble on this one, you deserve the win. Good job. Seriously. I would not buy it now. I would not buy it now. Bullish on Parade. I have not heard about Jerry the Turtle. Shout out to Eric Royston. Real quick, Treble's having a good day right now, trading at 38 cents. It did hit 40 cents, so maybe it's the start of the rally. Ideally it is, because again, based off of timing and things, like it's kind of now or never. Some of these abstract coins, by the way, Donald Trump's son, Barron Trump, said he's going to use abstract to launch his own digital trading card collection. So again, you guys remember how I spoke about a massive marketing campaign for altcoins? This is literally what it looks like. Barron Trump trading cards on abstract. It doesn't get more massive marketing campaign than that by the powers that be, by the elites. It's happening. They're pushing altcoins in real time because trust has been diminished very hard from the events of the past 6 months plus. So they have to rebuild the trust. How do they do that? They get pudgy penguins to ring the bell at the NASDAQ. They get Barron Trump to launch his NFT cards on abstract. And all of a sudden, all retail is just talking about how bullish the market is, and they forgot everything that happened and all of the trust that was lost, right? So most people do have the memory of a goldfish. Remember that. And that you can see it right now in real time. But hey, when the numbers go up and everyone's making money, nobody cares about other events that are happening. Also, looking at some news on the day, Telegram has rolled out the Ton wallet for 87 million users in the US. So if we look at Ton right now, based off of that news, on the daily, it is up right now on the daily. It's up right now. All right, it's at the daily 200 EMA. Is it going to break the daily 200 EMA? Well, it's certainly time for that. You can see the trend it's forming right now, right? This is vertical accumulation, slow vertical accumulation. Now you're seeing some expansion. We'll see if it can flip 356 and start to run. But big news for Telegram, and it is still in its bottom accumulation, right? Even going back further to what we were talking about earlier in the live stream with the others chart about how it had just broken out of this double bottom, right? Big breakout, and many altcoins are pre-breakout. Let's go back to Ton here. This isn't really a W double bottom. It's more of a range, but you still clearly have a range high over here that needs to get broken through, and that's at $3.56. So if it's time for it, it's going to happen right now, and I think it is time for it. We'll see. Right on the daily 200 EMA right now. Is it going to flip it? We'll see. Shout out to Mr. G as well. Mr. G, I did not see your comments earlier, man. My bad about that. But he says, how high is the total market cap going to go? So my target is here. My target is here. 4.4 to 4.6 trillion. Really, that's like my main target. Call it 4.5 trillion. Absolute best case scenario, I think 6 trillion, but I think 4.5 is a great target to have, Mr. G. And did Powell say anything important today? Well, there is some news about Jerome Powell I want to share with you, but before that, the FBI has closed their investigation into the Kraken founder. FBI has dropped the case against the Kraken founder, again making crypto very cool to the public eye now. It's very cool to be crypto, whereas a year ago it was not. So all the perception of the public changing with all of these small little moves happening by the government. Also, moving on, the Federal Housing Director says Fed Chair Jerome Powell's resignation speech is coming soon. They're really trying to get this guy out of there, right? They're really pulling all the strings to get Powell out. Resignation speech coming soon. Is he done? Who knows? But we do have that FOMC meeting in a week and a day. It's next Wednesday. But Powell resignation speech coming soon. We'll keep an eye on this one for sure. One last piece of news right now that I think is relevant with the world that we live in. So ChatGPT usage is linked to cognitive decline according to MIT research. So why is ChatGPT usage linked to cognitive decline? Because you literally have people that outsource it to do their everything. The biggest example of this is on Twitter. People asking Grok about very basic common sense questions in response to every tweet. So anyways, this isn't really related to crypto. It kind of is because there's a lot of crypto AI projects. But it just goes to show you, right? If you don't use it, you will lose it. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it. That goes with everything in life. So keep on using your brain, guys. Read a book. If you want to train your brain just like you would train your muscles in the gym, you do that by reading books. Okay, I highly recommend it. Anyways, in general, pullback at the moment, Bitcoin still showing strength. Bitcoin not showing any weakness. Bitcoin bouncing from the range low in the symmetrical triangle support trend line. Again, the ideal thing we see right now from Bitcoin is a move over here to the highs. Will it break? It certainly can. But we just want to see some follow through on the bullish side, right? We want to see some bullish follow through, and we want to see Bitcoin back above 121,000 to 123,000. On Ethereum, we have to reclaim 3750, right, which we're at right now. And it's very important on Ethereum that we do not lose the local lows that just formed. The local lows that just formed at 3615, right? We do not want to form a downtrend and make lower lows. We want this to be it. We want to reclaim resistance, and we want to push the highs, and we want to hit 4,000. Right? We want to hit 4,000, where price has been rejected down every single time this cycle. If there's a time for it to finally break 4,000, I think that time is now. We'll see if we get the push this week. It's already Tuesday, guys. It's already Tuesday. Dogecoin as well. I mean, look, it just cleared that weekly previous swing high, retested it. Not really showing any weakness, just in a consolidative period. We looked at Tau, for example, and we spoke about how Tau could have just completed its pullback, completed its dip with a move into fresh demand, right? We had a move into fresh demand here on the 1 hour time frame with a drop base rally demand zone, and you can see the move right into fresh demand and a very positive reaction. Tau is now pushing the highs again. This literally could have been it. This could have been the pullback. Adam hit the 6 hour breaker block, and now it's pushing back above the trend line, trying to save the daily. Everything else as well, right? DOT had retested that entry of 425, right? We gave that one off the 30-minute demand over here, and you can see working again. So everything is bouncing where it should bounce from. By the way, PHB paid out. I didn't share this trade with anyone, but I took it myself. Sorry, guys. Next time I'll share it. But anyways, everything is bouncing from where it should bounce. Right? We're not really losing key levels on alts. Look at Axie Infinity, just another random example in my watch list right now. Right? Pull back right to support. and you're already having a positive reaction. This could have been the dip. Everyone's so scared of a further correction, and we could get it. Because let's be real, I mean, these charts look so overheated. There's no denying that these charts look so overheated. But we haven't had any actual, this is still accumulation in my opinion on Axie Infinity, right? This is like ton. Real quick, go back to ton. Right, this is ton, vertical accumulation. Now you get the expansion with a news release. Real quick, back to Axie. We have vertical accumulation, right? This is not an expansive move. This is a slow, choppy grind higher that's taking its time. It's just taking its time. You also have the 3 taps of the trend line now. We've used these trend lines quite a bit over the past 2 weeks to find aggressive entries. But yeah, this is vertical accumulation. We'll see if we get expansion. I think we're going to get expansion. I'm long some coins. I have risk on the market right now. If I'm wrong, I will eat the loss, no problem. Because I just see the upside. I see the risk to reward. And I think now is an appropriate time to put on risk. But obviously with intelligence, be smart about it. Just don't be an idiot and gamble everything. But you can use risk management to manage your positions and, you know, make the most out of this bullish period in the market. So let's watch these coins, guys. We got a full day right now. It's only like noon here, the East Coast. So we got a full day ahead. We will see what happens with our daily candle close. And I'll be live again to go over everything. So if you guys like these streams, you know what to do. Stick around, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, share it with your friends, tell your family. Connor Crypto Empire, this guy, you have to watch his live streams. Tell everyone you know, and let's get to bigger numbers here on the channel. I want 1,000 people watching live. I want 5,000 people watching live. Let's do it, guys. Smash the like, engage, and let's keep on growing. Let's go, let's grow. On that note, I'm going to wrap up the stream. Appreciate you all. Have a blessed day. My name's Connor from Crypto Empire. Apply to the Mastermind. Sign up to Blofin in my link down below. Join the Telegram once you sign up to Blofin with my link. Shameless shills. I got to do it at the end of the stream, right? This ain't a charity. This is a business, dog. Anyways, my name is Connor from Crypto Empire, and I'll see you in the next video, which is going to be very soon from right now. And we'll see if this was the bottom or not. I have my eyes closely on the chart. I look forward to